Hello, class. This is Professor Steve Madison. First time I've had a chance to speak to you, although that wouldn't be the case if you happened to open the devotional first. Anyway, when I filmed the devotional for you, I'll tell you a little bit more about my personal story. But right now, I want to go over the syllabus and some other items that have to do with the class. Of course, this is Marketing Strategy, MBAD 513. And it's my privilege to be leading you through the learning on this class. First of all, I mentioned this in the email, but I would like you, in fact, you'll notice that I've required you to add a photo to your profile so that everybody in the class can see who you are. I find it very helpful to have just a mental picture of who it is that I'm writing to and talking to. I would encourage you to try to make that photo as close as possible, not one from a distance, but again, it's important, I think, that we have a good idea, particularly since we're not going to have the opportunity to meet face to face. I can tell you that this is the second time I've taught this course. The last time was an on-ground experience, and this is, I'll lay my cards on the table. This is the first time I've taught online. I intend to do my very best and try to make this as powerful and as meaningful a learning experience as I possibly can. Obviously, having been in the classroom, taught it in an on-ground environment, I recognize just what conversation and discussion can add to a class. Certainly, from the professor's standpoint, the ability to go down some tangents and to highlight, focus on things that we're not going to have the opportunity to do online. That's one of the reasons why I don't know if you saw an old syllabus of this class, an old online syllabus, but I've added a number of discussions, about eight opportunities to talk as a class. You'll also notice on the syllabus that over half of the points available towards your grade are found in our online discussions, so I take that very seriously, and my expectations are going to be reasonably high on that. Expect you all to do good work, because in many ways that's our only way to learn from each other and expand upon what we're reading in our text and what we're looking at on the PowerPoint presentations. So if you've looked at the syllabus, I'm kind of glancing here while I talk to page 4. You'll notice online I believe it's in Module 1, I've also posted a link to a PDF file of the syllabus. I find the way, when it's posted in Canvas online, it's kind of hard to read. So anyway, I've put a PDF file out there available for you. But I'm looking on page 4. 2 exams, week 3 and week 6, worth 100 points each. Again, reading the text is our only real avenue to really cover content. So 20% of your grade is tied to those exams, and we'll talk more about them. They're 50-question exams, 2 points each, for a total of 100 points for those 3 tests. We have 3 papers to write. The capstone of this class is creating a strategic marketing plan. We're going to be approaching that different in this course than we did on ground. I may allude to that in just a little bit, how we're going to handle that. But the last week, week 7, the full draft, the full strategic marketing plan will be due. In weeks 4 and week 5, we'll be doing rough drafts. Week 4 covers I believe it's the first 3 sections of the paper. Week 5, we'll be looking at sections 4 and 5, and then we'll add the last components of the paper in your final draft. So we'll walk through that. We'll build the course, build the paper as we go along. I would also like to highlight Exhibit 2.3. Again, I don't have the class up on my screen, but I think that's also either in week 1 or week 2. What it is, it's a PDF file of Exhibit 2.3 in your class. That is, in a nutshell, the outline of the paper of the strategic marketing plan that you're going to write. I encourage you, print it out. Anytime you read the textbook, when you're looking through the PowerPoint presentations, refer to that. It's a very good outline. of the paper itself, and the more you're familiar with the different components of the paper, the more you're going to be able to filter what you read and what you see in the PowerPoint presentations and other notes that I might be adding through video. It will give you context for that, maybe help you put things together. The earlier you start working on your thinking and planning and research for your paper, the easier it's going to be to write the drafts and then the final paper. Let me say this about it. One of the problems we had as an on-ground class was really getting the handle on the focus, the content, what entity am I going to write the marketing plan on. What we're going to do in our class, I'm going to give you two options, and I suspect most of you are going to take option one, which is I am going to create a case study. We're going to look at an organization, a business plan, and then we're going to work through that. It will be the kind of the framework for a lot of our discussions. In fact, I think you already noticed that one of the discussions, refers to the marketing plan. It's a marketing plan discussion. And all of those discussion questions in there are going to be tied to items that you will specifically use in preparing your marketing plan. And I think it makes sense to look at the content we cover in light of the paper that you're going to do. And we'll use, particularly in the form of video that I'm going to add to the modules as we go along, we're going to be looking at what we read, what's in the PowerPoint, how that might apply to the paper that you're going to be writing. So I'm going to create a case study that we can go through together. Now, if some of you are in a situation where you want to specifically work on a project that's tied to something you're doing, where you're at. Last class, we had someone who was we had two people who were looking to start their own business, and so it made sense for them to do that. But what I found was that most of the class really had trouble. It didn't make sense to do something in their own business. Several of them worked at very large organizations, and it was tough to get their hands around that. But if you do have a scenario where you would like to write the marketing plan on a project of your choosing, on an organization of your choosing, that's fine with me. And I'm not going to stand in your way at all. But for a number of you, I think you might enjoy working. So in some respects, it becomes a group project. We'll talk about it together. You'll still put it to add your own thoughts, use your own words, your own organizational structure, all of that. It'll still have your fingerprints all over it, but you'll have an opportunity to think through it in the course of the class. So that's how we're going to handle the strategic marketing plan paper itself. I have already added 2 additional threads to the course. You'll find those in a module, an unnamed, well, it's named, the module is named, let's see, questions, prayer requests, and help. From time to time, I know a number of people have questions about specific parts of the class, about areas of content. Oftentimes questions come up about the paper itself. And so as you send those questions to me, or better yet, let's put it this way, any questions you have that you need answered, if they're a question where the rest of the class would benefit by hearing the answer, post them to the discussion. I would encourage you, when you post a question to the discussion, go ahead and send me a note. All of our email needs to happen through Canvas. So just go into Canvas and send me a note letting me know that you've posted a question to that discussion thread, and I'll go over there and answer that just as soon as I can. And when I've answered it, I will post a message to all the class, letting the class know that the question's been answered and has been asked and there's an answer posted there. The other one was the one on prayer requests and praise notes. If there's an item that you would like the class to join with you and pray for, please post it there. Again, just let me know when you've posted something, and I'll alert the class to that. If you'd like to share an item of praise, we'd be happy to rejoice with you, and the same plan would apply. Just post it there, let me know that you've done so, and I'll alert the class to that. By telling me you posted, that gives me a chance to kind of go in there ahead of time and see if there's any items I might want to ask, or items that you might want to, I might ask you to intensify on, to add to. Okay, another point for observation. I know flew up there. I would encourage you to read the chapters before you look at the PowerPoint presentation. Read the chapter or chapters before you look at the PowerPoint. That will give some context there. You're going to notice in many of the PowerPoint presentations that you look at that I have added content that is not in the textbook. Of course, it's easier to talk about that when we're on ground, but I think it makes sense to leave the content there. I may or may not add some video notes to that, but don't think that things have gone crazy when you come across a slide that just seems like I don't remember reading that in the class. Well, you probably didn't. There's content that I added beyond the textbook itself. I think that's what I wanted to cover. I'm glancing at my notes. I think we're good. Okay, I'm going to turn this off and go record my devotion. Looking forward to working with you. Bye.